dash, I wanna dash, I wanna run it, dash, I wanna dash, I wanna run it, dash, I wanna dash, I wanna run it, dash. You can't be reckless, 그 법스톤 roadmap. 날 막은 barricade, 문이들을 밟고 가. 깜빡여 running 듯하게 멈추란 게 안 보일지 몰라. But I don't wanna stop it. 고민 따윈 crashing. Falling stars, 난 달려가. 저 멀리 펼쳐진 거친 road.
Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick reflection on what happened last semester. I'll start with the question, what went well? I think my sleep went pretty well for me last semester. I'm starting a consistent bedtime of around 11 p.m. and I think sleep is the basis for me. If I'm tired, then I don't have the energy to do things and my mood is also affected. Another thing that went well for me is finding a group of friends at school. I think it's tough to find new friends because a lot of people already have their own group and you don't really see people often enough to build a bond. The thing about polyphysiotherapy as well is that there's an abnormal amount of drama and rumors, which is weird because many of my classmates are rather quiet in class. A third thing that went well for me would be sports. I signed up for a half marathon last year with my dad and I was never really a huge runner, so I only bothered training like 6 times before the race. Looking back at it though, I'm really proud of finishing with a respectable time of 2 hours. And I think the thing that went the best for me would be building up my hobbies and identity. I picked up reading back as a hobby this year, and I'm learning a lot through what these books are covering and also trying to apply them in real life through first-hand experience. I'd say 2 of the most important things I've learned the past year is to not criticize others and that you can control your own feelings. One thing I'm working on is that it's okay to quit. I was reading this book, 1,000 Years of Solitude, but the book was going nowhere in the first 5 chapters, so I dropped the book. Another thing I'm working on is that it's okay to be selfish. If my friends are still chatting late at night, but it's time for my bedtime, I'll just go sleep instead, because we can just chat the next day instead. A third thing I'm working on is to plan less and do more. I think my MBTI is more of a planner, but this is a trait I want to tone down. Like if there's something I want to buy, I'll just buy it now instead of making a plan to buy it who knows when in the future. I think the common theme here is that I'm not perfect, but I'm working towards being a better person. Next, I want to look at what didn't go so well this semester. I think the first thing would be sports. I was really looking forward to joining the university swim team, but in the end I decided not to because I think it wasn't worth the time. I also had some minor injuries from working out, like wrist pain and ankle pain from doing handstands and training for my half marathon. I think the main thing that didn't go so well for me this semester would be my studies. I got an A in human anatomy and an A- in human physiology, but the thing is, I don't really remember anything from these subjects. I crammed everything the week before, so people might look at my grades and think, oh, you're really good, or you really understand the subject, but in reality, I think I just got lucky. And I think the last thing that didn't go so well for me would be dating. I think this is a bit unhinged, but whatever. So I'm finding socializing a bit tough already, so I feel like dating is even worse because at least from my perspective, you have to be friends before you can really date. And but I think it's more on my side as well. It's like, what do I have to offer? Like I can study and I do sports, sure, but I'd like to go beyond that. Maybe that's why I'm making this video. Lastly, I want to look at the question, what am I working towards? Sleep is one thing I'm always working to improve on. Even though my bedtime is quite consistent, I'm still napping a lot lately. And I don't really feel energized every day. Another thing I'm working towards is prioritizing things that are important to me. For example, I found myself just chatting with friends like for a few days before starting the script for this video. But I think in hindsight, making this video would be more important than chatting with friends. Yeah. Another thing I'm working towards is studying. We have functional anatomy this semester and there's a lot to take in. I haven't quite figured out how to memorize each muscle, bone, nerve, blood supply, and so on, but I have to figure it out. I'm going to shoot for the stars and aim for the Dean's List this year because my grades last semester were pretty good. In terms of sports, I want to achieve my handstand and front lever this year. I wanted these two calisthenics moves for years, but I've never worked seriously towards it until last year. I've been making good progress so far, and I think 2025 will be the year that I get these two moves. One last thing I'm working on is to just dream bigger. Right now, I feel like I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm not great at many. I know doing well in school and having a stable career is nice, but I'm not quite sure what I want in life other than to just enjoy it. I'm not really looking for a life purpose or like a calling, but sometimes I feel like my life feels very one-dimensional. Basically just sleeping, studying, and then doing sports sometimes. In terms of YouTube, I think it's nice as a side project, but it's not my main goal for now. I'll upload every once in a while when I think of a good topic. The main purpose of my videos, honestly, is still for myself. Like, I like to look back maybe 5 or 10 years in the future and think, oh, that's what me in the past was thinking, or that's what me in the past was doing back then. So that's why I don't really expect to get any views or subscribers, but if my videos help someone, I think that would be a nice bonus. So speaking of video topics, if you have any suggestions for the channel, I'd appreciate it if you fill in the Google form in the description.